At the Passover Seder, we all hold up that simple, flat cracker and we say it's the center of the whole story. But what's the real story here? Is it really just about a last-minute escape? Well, let's get into it, because the Secret of Matzah goes so much deeper than that. It transforms from a symbol of slavery into the actual taste of redemption.
You know, we've all heard the classic explanation. The Israelites had to get out of Egypt so fast that their bread just didn't have time to rise. Seems simple enough, right? Just a technical detail. But that brings up a massive question. Was matzah just a historical accident? I mean, what if they'd had just one more hour? Would we be eating fluffy challah at the Seder? That one question, it changes everything.
And this really frames the core tension, doesn't it? Was matzah an a posteriori reality? Something they only understood after the fact? Just a consequence of being rushed? Or was it the a priori plan from the very beginning? The divinely intended, perfect food for a new nation being born into freedom? The thing is, the answer isn't just one or the other. It's a journey that takes us through both.
Okay, so to even begin to unpack this, we have to understand the huge difference between these two kinds of bread. And believe me, it's about way more than just yeast. It's like there's a whole spiritual and psychological battle going on right there in a lump of dough.
The symbolism here is just so deep. Think about chametz, leavened bread. It's puffy, it's inflated. It represents pride, ego, and that slow, complicated process of the world we live in. It's basically the voice in your head that says, I'll do it tomorrow. But matzah, it's the exact opposite. It's flat, simple, humble. It stands for speed, for decisiveness, for grabbing that divine moment of redemption and not letting go.
And the great commentator, the Malbim, he takes this idea even deeper. He says that leavening agent itself is really a metaphor for our yetzer hara, that internal pull, that inclination that makes us procrastinate and just get stuck. The rush out of Egypt wasn't a problem. It was a blessing. It was a divine intervention that prevented them from getting bogged down, from letting their dough and their own resolve rise up and then collapse.
Okay, but this brings us to another layer, and this one is just, wow, it's so profound. The idea that matzah isn't just about humility. It was actually a kind of medicine for an entire nation that was, spiritually speaking, suffocating.
You have to understand this one verse. It's absolutely crucial. The Israelites couldn't even hear the message of freedom because they had kotzar ruach, a shortness of breath. But this wasn't just being winded from hard labor. This was a spiritual condition, a crushing of the soul so complete that they couldn't even process hope. Their very life force, their ruach, their spirit, it had been stamped out.
So what do? How do you heal an entire people that's forgotten how to breathe? Well, this is where the Zohar, a foundational text of Jewish mysticism, gives matzah this incredible name, Lema Dea Suta, the bread of healing. This wasn't just food to fill their stomachs. It was a divinely prescribed cure.
I mean, just think about it for a second. What is matzah? It's literally bread with all the air, all the ruach, squeezed out of it. So to restore the spiritual breath, the ruach of a people who are suffocating, God gave them a food that had no physical breath of its own. It's like this divine reset button, a remedy made to reopen the lungs of the soul.
Now, if you thought that was deep, we're about to go even deeper, because this next idea is pretty radical. The way we make matzah isn't just about humility or healing, it's about breaking the laws of nature and stepping outside of time itself.
So what's with the 18 minutes? Why that specific number? Well, that strict time limit, that's the entire point. See, in the natural world, things take time, right? Dough rises, things grow. It's a slow, gradual process. But that 18-minute rule, it shatters that. It forces us to act outside of the normal flow of time. It's a statement that what's happening isn't just history unfolding, it's a divine rupture in reality.
And the Maharel of Prague has this amazing insight on this. He says, look, human progress crawls along. It takes centuries. But redemption, real divine redemption, that's not a natural process. It happens in an instant, totally outside the regular rules of time. And matzah, made in that flash of urgency, is the food that belongs to that supernatural reality. It's not from our slow, leavened world. It's from the world of miracles.
But, okay, here's the big paradox, right? At the Seder, we hold up this bread of miracles, this bread of freedom. And what's the first thing we call it? Halachma aniyah. This is the bread of affliction, the bread of the poor. Wait, what? How can the food of ultimate redemption also be poor people's bread? Well, the Maharal comes back and just resolves this so beautifully. He says, think about it. In our world, this complex, puffy, ego-driven world,
Something simple can look, well, poor. Matzah seems like the bread of poverty. But in that higher spiritual reality, the world of divine truth, that same simplicity is the greatest richness there is. So the point is, matzah's poverty in this world is the very thing that gives it its power in the next.
Okay, so let's pull all these amazing threads together. What does this actually mean for us, sitting at our own Seder table? How in the world do we taste all of this, the affliction and the redemption, in just one piece of matzah?
So here it is. It turns out matzah has two faces. And what it means? Well, it really depends on who's eating it. If you're feeling a bit in exile, crushed by your own personal Egypt, then that matzah is medicine. It's the a priori necessity you need to heal and escape. But if you're in a place where you can taste freedom, then that same matzah becomes the a priori ideal, the perfect food of pure unadulterated liberty.
But why do we have to eat it? Why not just tell the story? It's because of this incredible Jewish concept called zikaron shushim. It means sensory memory. The idea is that for a memory to be real, for it to truly stick, it can't just be in your head. It has to get into your body. You can't just think about freedom. You have to feel it, taste it, experience it.
So when you eat matzah, you're not just reenacting something that happened a long time ago. You are internalizing it. You're literally consuming the humility, the urgency, and the divine energy of that very first moment. You're physically taking in the bread of healing so that the memory of redemption becomes part of who you are, giving you strength for the whole year to come.
So at your Seder this year, when you pick up that piece of matzah, just take a moment and ask yourself, what am I tasting right now? Is this the bread of affliction, the medicine my soul needs to break free? Or is this the bread of liberty, the ideal food of a soul that already knows it's redeemed? Because the real secret is, it's both, and it's just waiting for you to discover its flavor.